Okay, so my final closing transfer will be the profit and loss account. Okay, so what I do in my profit and loss account, I work out either a net profit or a net loss. Okay, so I start off on the credit side here with 136,000, and that is my gross profit. Okay, that's my gross profit. Where did I get the gross profit? I got that from the trading account. Okay, so I worked out my gross profit over here in the trading account, which was my net sales minus my cost of sales gives me the gross profit of 136,000. That's before I've got all my incomes and other expenses added to that. So if I debit my trading account, I must credit my profit and loss account. There's the 136,000. Okay, right. So now I also have to add all my incomes. So if I look at my incomes, it's only the 1,620 over here, and that was not affected by any adjustments. So I'm just going to plus that 1,620 just over there. Okay. Alright, so discount received is normally credited. Okay. Discount received is normally credited. Okay. So I have to debit discount received, and I therefore have to credit profit and loss. Okay. Forget about this appropriation for now, and let's look at all my expenses. Okay. All my expenses over here will be the rent expense, depreciation, loss, interest on loans, salaries, provision for bad debt adjustments, and the sundry expenses. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to bring down all these balances that I've got over here, and I'm going to put it in brackets, and I'm going to put it on the left hand side. There's the 3.2, 19,800, 165,000, 26,600, and so forth. Alright, so I'm going to bring it down, all of them in brackets, because I'm not sure if they were affected by any adjustments. Why do I put them? Why do I debit profit and loss account and I put these amounts on this side? Why? Alright, because normally with any expense, I would have said expense would have worked like this. I would have said, let's say rent expense. It normally has a debit balance over here, and to close it off, I need to credit. It, rent expense, and the other account, and then I'm going to take it to profit and loss. So if rent expense is credited, profit and loss is debited. So I've got all of them here. Where do I get all these 800 and so forth? I get those amounts from the adjustments that we did right at the start. Okay, so we're going to look at the specific adjustments that we did in the previous question. Okay, so the rent expense, I'm going to look here. I have to add another 1,800 because it's on the debit side, so it's plus 1,800. Interest on loan, I'm going to look for that adjustment. Interest on loan, another plus 800 because I'm increasing the expense. So plus 800 over there to get to the 4,000. Salaries and wages, I have to credit salaries and wages, so it's a minus 1,600, so I have to minus it there, and I'm left with 163,400. Sundry expenses, you will see I credited sundry expenses, which means I have to minus it there. So it's 26,000 minus 240 will be, and I will be left with 25,760. All journal transactions. Depreciation, I must increase it with another 5,500, so it's 600 plus the 5,500 give me 6,100. Loss and disposal of asset, of equipment, just take it there. There was no other transactions. I just have to put the 1,000 there as well. The same with the provision for bad debts adjustment. I have to put that there as well. And then lastly, the other expense that I haven't looked at so far is the trading stock deficit. So I have to, that's a new expense, and I have to add it over there. Now, when I'm finalizing this account, I look which side is the biggest. You will see there's 136 and 1620 on this side. And to work out the net profit or net loss, I need to see which side is the biggest. If I add all of the left side together, I get 222,000, which is much bigger than the credit side. Which means I've got a lot more expenses than I've got incomes. And that will be then the balancing figure of 84,000 Rand, which I'm going to take to the appropriation account. Okay, this is actually a net loss. Why do I know it's a net loss? Because of our credit profit and loss account. Okay, credit profit and loss account and our debit appropriation account, it actually means that I allocated too much. So normally appropriation account, if I look at appropriation account, normally appropriation account, if you allocated your profit, you've got a credit balance on this side to show that you've got a profit that you, or net profit that you can allocate. But in this case, which means you had to debit your profit and loss account. Okay, so profit and appropriation account would be credited, profit and loss account would be debited. That's for that's when it was a net profit. But in this case, profit and loss account is credited and appropriation account is debited, which means it's a net loss. So we still have to allocate and to show that there's a net loss of 84,940 because your expenses was bigger with 84,000 than all your incomes or all your profits.